my Young and the Restless fans. We are back with another week, and yes, we have to talk about this particular episode today. First, Victor reveals his plans for Adam to Victoria. Audra spills the Newman scheme to Tucker, angering Nate. And after fighting with Ashley over respect, Jack invites Diane to move in. Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. This is your Young and the Restless recap for February 13th, and without any further ado, let's talk about this episode. So we start out over at the Newman Ranch, where we have Victoria and Victor talk more about Tucker being up to his eyeballs in debt, and she wonders how to take total control. Now Victor thinks they should just tell him to join them first. They wonder if Tucker is going to do something to derail their plans. Now Victor, he wants to contact him directly before they make their move. However, talks now turn to Johnny. Now Victoria is like, wait a minute, I'm protective over him. But she does say that he's at ease with Chelsea and Connor, and Victoria, she says she's fine with it. Then he wants to talk about Adam and says that he wants his son to run Tucker's company. Now, Victoria was like, you know what, I should have seen this coming, but Dad, you're going to regret it. And Victor was like, yeah, I hear you, but I don't hear you, because he does not share her concern. Now, she knows and asks if he'll run it as a private entity or under the Newman umbrella. Now, Victor says that, don't worry about that. We can talk about the whole hierarchy issue later. It won't impact you. But she doesn't see it that way and thinks that he's doing this to make Adam feel better. And Victor says, look, reuniting my family means more than anything to me. And she was like, yeah, I know. But they'll be dealing with 2 wild cards, though, even though Victor promises to deal with them. Now, speaking of Tucker, Audra runs into society looking for him. And then he turns up and she says that she's looking for Brad Pitt. And since he's not there, Tucker do. Now, he notes her sauciness and she says, well, 2 friends having dinner is normal. He calls her beautiful, finds their interaction stimulating, but he's suspicious of her motives, though. And he asks why Newman Media would even care about his enormous debt. Tucker does know that Newman Enterprises would care and wonders if she's gathering intel for them. Now, they have some wine, and he says that he wouldn't be angry if she was seeing him for the intel. Now, she wonders if he'd be hurt, but he says no. But he'd be disappointed, though. Now, they've always been honest with one another, and she agrees, and he asks if she's gathering information for the Newmans. So Audra says that they know all about his debt and are planning to buy it all up and give them leverage over him. And he digests it and processes it, and he's like, you know what, that's very Victor. And Victoria, his daughter, is even worse now. And of course, Nick and Nikki would just stand behind him and nod, and he is absolutely correct. They are just a non-factor at this point. But that's the impression that she got as well. Now, he asks, why did you tell me this? She doesn't really give him an answer, and he likes that. And she asks, what are you going to do about it? Doesn't he want to scratch her back now? And he thinks this sounds more than platonic, and he wants to take her back to his room. And they agree, yeah, it was lip service, but she takes a rain check on that, and he feels like she's playing him, which she is, and he's so turned on by it, though. Now, they've never been on opposite sides before, and he found it very exhilarating, and so did she, to know that they will be, quote-unquote, banging into each other, and they're both smirking. So let's swing over to the Abbott estate. Well, guess who returns home? Ashley. She's back from Paris and runs into Diane at the house. And of course, she is not happy about that. And Diane tells her, you better get used to seeing me around here more. Jack appears and says hi, and Diane tells her that they're together in every way. Now, Ashley tells Jack that she doesn't want to meet Diane in the middle. She hasn't changed, and Diane wants an open dialogue to pursue a professional and respectful relationship. Now, Ashley, she's not bending, which of course upsets Jack, but Ashley stood her ground that this is on him for parading whatever this is under our noses. Now, Jack thinks that she's to speak for herself. Everyone else is trying to keep an open mind and trust him to do what's right. Ash doesn't and does not need to protect him, and he argues that she's blinded by hatred. He yells and she tells him that she loves him, but this isn't it. He's going to regret it. He's a pawn in Diane's game, and Jack is shocked that she's denying him happiness. Ashley is like, delusion isn't happiness, and she says that if she kept falling for Tucker's BS, he'd feel exactly the same. Now Ash is embarrassed for him, and he was like, enough. He's had enough. Now she's upset that this isn't resolved, but Jack says, you know what, you just being negative. He invites her to leave until she has a meaningful conversation. She was like, wait a minute, you can't kick me out of the family home. He was like, how much? She's like, you know what, it's not going to happen when hell freezes over. And then she stumped out. Jack makes a nosedive for the whiskey and take it all down. Diane was like, well, she might have gloated with Ashley a little bit. You think, Diane? And maybe she should have restrained herself. They then discuss Kyle's reluctance to believe in them, but Jack knows that they'll do it right this time. He's fallen in love with the woman that she's become, and he probably should have said it before. I love you. And Diane tears up. Her heart is racing. She's crazy about him, and he's her joy, her safe place. The proof she's done something good and brightness in her life. And she was saying, I love you so much. They both kiss. He toddles upstairs, grabs some keys, returns, and invites her to move in with him, and she is so excited. So now we're over at Jabot, and Kyle thinks that what he did to Adam worked out, but for Summer, she just called him lucky. He was working with her cutthroat grandfather and didn't think of the consequences. Now, Kyle still feels that Jabot is better off without Adam. And besides, Adam didn't even like being there. Summer calls him out for rationalizing and said this is not about Adam. It's about their relationship. Summer begged him not to even do this, but he did it anyway. What does that say about their marriage? She was like, you completely violated my trust. Kyle is so sorry. It's been weighing on him, and he wants to make it up to her. And she tells him, you know what, you just don't get it. You're not just going to buy me some flowers for this type of situation, and you better not expect quick forgiveness. She compares him to his mom, Diane, and he tells her not to. And it's a one-off to get rid of Adam, and he's not proud of it. And it's not going to happen again. She was like, still, you lied to me. Even after he could have come clean, it hurted, and he thought he was doing the right thing. However, Summer says that is BS. He knew it was wrong, but you did it anyway. So over at Newman Media, Audra returns to tell Nate that Tucker knew something was up, and she told him the truth. Nate is shocked. Why the hell would you even reveal that? But she called it a smart move. Newman has now the upper hand, and he knows. And of course, Nate was rattled. She said that it was the best way to get him to trust her, and he'll keep her in the loop now, provided that she have something to offer him. And finally, over at the Grand Phoenix, from his suite, Tucker calls for information on his debt. And then he cuts his call short. Why? Guess who shows up? Ashley. And she's looking him over. And you know she wants to know why he left that message. Okay, so there you have it, your Young and the Restless recap for Monday, February 13th, 2023. Stay tuned for the Bold and the Beautiful recap also for today. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.